You had Becky Lynch, who managed to get to this really incredible place while Ronda was around. But they mistimed the story. So by the time it got to WrestleMania, I don't think anyone likes to say it, but like that main event was quiet. It was too late in the night.
Mm-hmm.
It was a story that had played out. I mean, how many times have they been broken up by the police?
Yeah. Drop a tear podcast. Yeah. Drop a tears podcast. Drop a tears podcast. Yeah. Drop a tears. We got Wilkins, Mrblacc, Janelle from the HR best squad. Every single view, no one can take guard. Vision of the crew, unstoppable in your face. All I say, we speak the truth in every single debate. Out our way, every week we bring and take the topics. The views and optics, the fans at live party, it's on and popping. No one can do it like this. The viewing party commence after crew excitement. The best show, the finest. Drop a tears podcast. We hold it down. They know us now. We take the crown. Drop a tears podcast. We hold it down. They know us now. We hold it down. Drop a tears, drop a tears, drop a tears podcast. Drop a tears, drop a tears, drop a tears podcast. We hold it down. They know us now.
Yeah.
Does that not
Turn
make
off my snare. Where's my snare? Where's my snare?
Yo,
What is a
song,
snare though?
Every time.
Mr. Engineer guy, what's a snare?
Snare is a drum. It's a type of drum.
Oh, okay. Hi.
My drum beat. Oh man.
Can you introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name is Johnny.
Johnny, our
at Gotham.
engineer here at Gotham Studios. Shout out to Gotham Studios. Jobber Nation, hello, hello, hello. We are here for our 14th episode of season 4. Are we ever going to take a break, guys? No, miss, maybe?
No,
Who
until
knows?
after SummerSlam.
We are full speed ahead into SummerSlam. As always, I am Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mrblacc and our engineer, me phenomenal engineer Johnny in the back.
Johnny.
Guys, we are 1 week away from SummerSlam. Sweet, we got the sounds.
Could you put it close to the
the
mic?
tunes?
What
Pull
do you
up
do?
the tunes. Oh, is there another mic? Oh, look at that! Look at
Oh,
Tech
hold
Savvy.
on. Oh,
Oh, we about to be lit.
hold on.
Yeah, we are.
Turn it off.
We are
Oh!
so
Oh,
lit right
we
now.
lit!
If you guys have
Hold on. Do it again. The soundboard is
the
back.
soundboard is
Mr.
live.
Black on the soundboard.
The ones and twos. Oh, don't be like that. I thought we were having a good time. Thank you. Thank you for too kind.
Y'all got that hype.
Yo, stupid hype right now for no reason. But as I was saying, SummerSlam is next Sunday. We are full speed ahead to our SummerSlam weekend. It is the first year in about 4 years. SummerSlam is not in New York. It is in Toronto, Canada. But the fun does not stop. We will be having a jam-packed weekend. It will be starting off with supporting our fellow independent promotion called HOG, House of Glory.
House of Glory.
And just announced.
Oh, we lit.
We are stupid lit right now. Just announced there will be New York Wrecking Crew versus LAX at HOG. When I tell you, I am I am super, super proud of Chris Seaton and Smooth Blackman for getting this match, this one-on-one with LAX. It is going to be a special treat. And then also, too, you have the Young Bucks, which is probably their last independent show versus Private Party. And they've been doing some really kick-ass promotions on YouTube and on Instagram and things like that. So I'm really excited. So that's kind of like the kickoff of next weekend. And then we have... What happened? Oh, and then we have our NXT viewing party for NXT Toronto. And the card is getting stacked, and we will be talking about that next week when everything is all said and done. And then after NXT Takeover, we will be partying and jamming like fellow jobbers for our Jobber Slam 5. It is our 1 year of doing Jobber Slam. It is by far, we're gonna have it's official. We're gonna have a DJ. Like, I want to see people dubbing. I want to see guys bagging people. Like, I want to see it all. Like, wrestling fans, get it together, you know. And then we are going to end off the weekend with Peter Rosenberg's Cheap Heat podcast live at Legends. 5:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale on eventbrite.com. You can look for more information on all of our social media platforms. You can, it's okay. Got thirsty. So once again, you can purchase tickets online for Peter Rosenberg's pre-show Cheap Heat Live.
We're halfway through reservations already, so make sure you
RSVP. I'm telling you, and arrive early. This is no joke. Arrive early. Don't think you're gonna be on CP time like me. I'm always on CP time. I could be honest with the fans and with everyone.
I was late today.
He was. You know what? It was so funny. We had this conversation, and he was like, "But you're always late," and I'm like, "But at least I tell you that." And then today, guess who rolled in late? Mm-hmm.
My bad, team. My bad. I fucked
dropping
up.
the ball.
I fucked up.
But as I was saying, Peter Rosenberg not only will be doing his podcast live as the pre-show to SummerSlam, but he will also be hosting our SummerSlam viewing party. We will be having giveaways, raffles. Shout outs to all the podcasts that will be in the building. So like A Shot of Wrestling, True Hill Heat, 20 by 20 podcast. The list goes on and on. Those wrestling girls. I poke some head chokes. Oh my God! The list goes on and on. So make sure if you have not already heard any of those podcasts that I mentioned just now, to please do your due diligence and go and look them up. They are amazing and phenomenal, and they're part of the Jobber Slam family. So please support each other. And then speaking about our Jobber family, I want to give a special quick shout out to the 5 jobbers of the month that have been actively on our Facebook group. We have done, shout outs to Dre and Austin and our team here that has been increasing our Facebook activity. It was something that Mrblacc had been wanting for a very, 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 very long time. So we've done, our due diligence on our end and done our best to, get some people on the team and make sure that, they take care of our fans. So I want to shout out Julian Bell, who's always been a high supporter of the Jobber Tears podcast.
Julian from Arizona. It's from Arizona, right?
I forget.
Yeah, he's from Arizona.
I think so. I think he lives in Arizona. I don't think he's from Arizona. But Jarita McDay, who I found out's favorite wrestler is Stone Cold Steve Austin. So shout outs to you, my love. My homeboy from Canada.
That's my son.
Naritos, shout outs to you. You've been a complete supportive.
The K is silent?
Could be. If I'm wrong, please tell me.
He's one of my fans.
But you have been not only supportive from when we were in a previous podcast, you have been supportive from day one, especially when we've had our own conversations. So I definitely want to shout you out. So shout outs to you. And then also Kevin Brown, which is by far the most common name, but it's hilarious. But Kevin Brown, thank you so much for supporting this month. And is it Sean John? Because I just think that's the funniest shit if it's really that's how you pronounce it. Why are you saying somebody's song that's funny? No, because it just makes me think of Sean John, like Everclear. The brand.
Sean John Everclear. Shout outs to you. Thank you so much.
Sir, I want to know if that's really your real name, though. If that's your real full name, please let me know. And if you're watching on the live feed, just let us know in the comments.
Sean another name for John? That's why they call it Sean John?
I don't know.
No,
yeah, it is.
Oh, really?
It is.
Cool.
Sean's another name for John.
That's weird. That's like how Robert is like Bobby.
Just like Tony is for Anthony.
Or James is Jimmy.
Or Jen for Jennifer.
No, that's just that baby. That's the same.
Wilkins is Wilkins.
Yeah, okay. You just want to throw yourself in there. Let me think of anything else. Oh, next Wednesday, those that are watching, next Wednesday, the Big 4 returns. I know some people have been inquiring about it and asking about it and saying, like, when is it coming back? When is it coming back? And It will be the original, what I like to call the NWO of the Big Four. Oh my God! So it will be myself, it will be Tatiana, and it will be Miss Haven. Here live next week. So stay tuned. We're gonna be talking about SummerSlam, and amongst other things too. We're gonna definitely, have a conversation about the women's evolution across the board. Like just not only WWE but also Impact, Ring of Honor. Like we're gonna talk. It's been some time since all three of us
chop
been
it up.
together. So we're gonna shoot the shit about some wrestling stuff, and then also too it's a 2-part taping that day where we're gonna also do Inside the Indies for the month of August, and it's gonna be with 3 independent referees that have been in the business here in the tri-state area, and once again, as I said, they're always the unspoken heroes. So I'm gonna have a 1-on-3 conversation with 3 referees. So stay tuned for that. That is gonna be next Wednesday, and then we're gonna go right into SummerSlam and have a ball and have a great time. Before we do start, I want to go into this week in wrestling. And before we go to the first topic, I want to just touch on me and Sir Wilkins have went to MLW for the first time. This last Thursday, they did their TV tapings at Melrose Ballroom. And I just want to just chop it up real quick. What were your thoughts on MLW's Fusion TV Live experience?
MLW is like legit. Can you turn up my headphones real quick? I can't hear myself. I feel weird.
Podcast. Yeah, we got Wilkins, MrBlacc, Janelle from the age.
Nah, MLW was fun. It was fun. It was a good show. I really enjoyed seeing the Von Erichs there.
Oh, word.
Like, one of the biggest things, and I think I said it when I was there, is like that genetic gene pool is ridiculous. Like
they look like whole snacks.
I didn't say that.
I said it.
No.
I said it.
No.
This nigga gay.
No, I did
He
not
didn't
say
say
that.
that.
I did not say that. But like I said, like I was saying before, it was a good show. It was a good show. You know, I'm a huge Low Key fan. It was good to see Low Key there.
Oh man, this guy marked out for Low Key. I was like, ooh, what? Okay.
The Samoan family runs wild across.
Man, Jacob Fatu, my goal is to get you on this show. Trust
across
and believe.
the wrestling universe.
And he's like you would actually like Jacob Fatu. He's he's a nigga, like for real. Like he would probably go in the back, smoke with you, drink with you, chill with you, and
that's
shoot the
most
shit with you.
Samoans.
No, but I'm just saying, like Jacob was just so like chill, like
That's most Samoans.
I'm gonna ask him when I see him. You trying to smoke?
like no, it's for real though. Like
9
I feel like
out of 10 times.
that's like the initiation.
But
Nine out
I
of 10
think
times
most
most
Samoans
dudes
are
say
like
yes.
that.
I can't speak for most. I can
no,
only speak
no,
for the
no.
one I met.
If you
last
listen, no,
week.
I'm telling you, most Samoans are like that. The only one that's not like that is The Rock because, you know, he Hollywood now, so he got to keep
Speaking of The Rock, if you guys, I think Hobbs and Shaw is out this weekend, so
I'm seeing it
support.
Sunday.
I'm seeing it tomorrow. So go support The Rock.
It's tomorrow.
Well, you know how Friday is like
Yeah,
the debut,
yeah.
but they have previews. They have showings for Thursday nights. So I go Thursday night because I don't like going.
Tomorrow.
Well, yeah, because everybody goes. So if I don't go tomorrow, I'll probably go Tuesday when it's $6.
Probably go Tuesday. I need to see that and Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man was so good.
I still haven't seen it.
Spider-Man was alright.
Spider-Man was really
haven't seen it.
good.
Still haven't
I
seen
thought
it.
it was dope. What about? Have y'all seen Lion King yet?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
I mean, I seen the original one 1,001 times, so I didn't follow it. Like, it was just like I was dumb high.
You were the oh
I was
lord.
super high on my mind. But nevertheless, though, it was kind of like, I like the fact that Scar, he didn't like, it was more risky than real life. Like, Hyena is working on their own. They smarter compared to how the cartoon was. So the fact they made that little change that Scar had to come to them, like, yo, let's work together, come together, was cool. But it felt mad realistic. It felt super uncomfortable. Like, they didn't have enough emotions. But the message, don't forget who you are, still stay at the same
Remember
time.
who you are.
Nah, I thought it was like I told somebody about this. I went to see a friend of mine, and it felt like food that was good, but there was no flavor and soul in it.
Like it was missing some salt and pepper.
Yeah, no, the salt and pepper was there. It just didn't have no sazon, no fucking like the red the red seasoning.
They follow the directions. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But you know what they did, but they didn't, because like I said, like I told you when I saw it, I was like, since when did Nala get mad lines in the movie? Like, like the cartoon.
Beyonce.
But I know,
And
that's what I'm saying. Like,
she was like kind of Simba, know your way.
yeah.
But the thing about it, I hate when niggas would try to like really shit on my girl Beyonce, son.
That's not shitting on, but it's
not
just
you,
like, no,
not
I know,
you.
but
like legit, everyone's like, she messed up the movie. But nigga,
she didn't mess
how
up
did
the
she
movie
mess up the movie?
And no bullshit, I thought Scar could have been a different person. Like I didn't get that oomph when Scar and no bullshit. James Earl Jones is almost 90, so you could tell that nigga was tired. Like he was just
there was
I'm
no spice
sitting,
in the movie, son.
I'm sitting,
it was straight
and I'm
grilled
saying
chicken
words.
with some spinach. With only salt and pepper. That was the season. There was no flavor. There was no soul. Like grandma didn't put the
shout outs to the young Simba though. He was to that and Timon and Pumbaa. They were dope. I mean, I just thought. I mean, once again, it's like a childhood like playback for us. Like for us, it's like
the only one that's been good so far that I've seen is Beauty and the Beast.
I heard Aladdin was really good.
I heard Aladdin was, but I
gotta
gotta go see it. Probably.
But they said Aladdin whitewash. From the look of it, it is kind of whitewash. Because the Indians are a lot lighter than they usually are. Because you're gonna be in the sun all day. You can't be that light, dogs.
I mean, but
it depends. It depends though, because most richer Indians are like lighter skin.
Come on, Aladdin's not rich. Nigga's poor. He should be.
I'm talking about the princess though.
A princess though.
I mean, Aladdin should be burnt, but
no, we shouldn't be burnt.
There's some Indians that look like
no, they look like no, I get it, but like, damn, you don't want him burnt.
I mean, you saw Slumdog Millionaire.
Yes.
You should have the diversity of Indian people.
He wasn't burnt. He was like...
He was dark skinned. It makes sense.
He was my complexion, yeah.
So we're going to talk about wrestling? We're going to continue
we
to talk
are.
Or we're going to talk about the Disney?
This week, it was just This Week in Wrestling. But This Week in Wrestling, we're going to start off with AEW. We spoke about it last week briefly when they announced that AEW will be going live on the TNT network on October the 2nd. And they have already confirmed. Last week, they didn't confirm anything. They just confirmed the date and time and place. But this week, they have a few announcements. They confirmed the appearance of Jon Moxley will be on the first show. They also announced that Cody will be facing Sammy Guerrero. And also today, in real life time, but in YouTube land, it would be Wednesday. But today, they announced that Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Chris Jericho and 2 mysterious partners. So my question to the table is, who do you think will be the 2 mystery partners? Dun, dun, dun.
LAX? Who the hell is it going to be?
I don't know. I mean, I thought maybe Private Party because they're signed.
No. They would announce it.
No. It's definitely LAX. LAX just got out their contract with Impact.
Well, yes.
And they're free agents because they're going to be at Hog this weekend, next week. So they're out here living their best life. And
they will be, actually, breaking news, they will be appearing at Battle Club Pro's show in September, September 20th.
And so how does that sound?
8th,
it's right before they have to go back in October. They're going to have their first show. Because
everybody on the roster is finishing up all their indie shows. Like Joey Janelle is having like a final like show at the end of September in Asbury Park. So.
Like that's what it is. And then we spoke to LAX. They said things have to be a perfect situation to go to WWE because they are family men.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things about AEW is that they're promising these wrestlers less fucking dates. So what's the best situation for them? It's AEW. I get it. We can play fucking GM of WWE 2K17 right now, but we're not going to play that. The realistic situation is, in my opinion, is LAX is going to be the team that's going to be there. Because if they want to make that tag team division legit,
they got to add a legit tag team.
They have to have a legit tag team. And as you can see, you know their tag team is going to be legit because Raw was focused on tag teams, has been focused on tag teams.
Well, yeah, because they know what's up.
They know what's going on, and they've been trying to put a real focus on it because they understand that AEW is one of their top things going to be about tag teams.
All right, Mr. Black, who do you think? Do you agree that LAX will be the mystery partners of Chris Jericho? I'm mad excited to see Chris Jericho on TNT. Side note, like,
I mean, everybody know I'm biased. LAX is one of my favorite tag teams. So.
LAX is the greatest tag team in the world. Point, period. They're better than the Young Bucks. They're better than the Briscoes. I said it. If somebody wants to fight me, they can fight me.
Why are you so aggressive? It's only Wednesday.
I mean, I like the Young Bucks. I mean, I'm high as hell.
LAX.
LAX. Yo, LAX. I'm very biased. That's my favorite tag team.
Okay, that's
love
fine.
them.
You can still say it's okay. We listen as wrestling fans. We can have a little bit of a biased side sometimes of things that we want. But once again, October 2nd will be AEW on TNT. Tickets actually go on sale this Friday, August the 2nd, via Ticketmaster and AEWTix.com, and pricing goes starting as low as $20 for a ticket. So at the Capital One Arena in Washington D.C. So everyone in the DMV area, you have no excuse. But I'm definitely intrigued on maybe doing a pop-up meetup for Jobbeteers in D.C. So stay tuned for that. There's a lot of pieces down in the D.C. area that I think we can get something together and do something really really magical. So real quick, the second This Week in Wrestling topic is Sir Wilkins' favorite wrestler of all time, Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan pulled 2 million views in 24 hours. So he was wrestling Miranda Alizé in an intergender match at the Queens of the Ring this past Saturday in Texas. And the match drew over 2.2 million views on YouTube. Once again, that is 2.2 million views. Let's put that in perspective. Raw and SmackDown do those numbers. So this one match did numbers of a whole entire show. Let's put that on the same playing field. So my question to the table is, I already kind of know your thoughts on Joey Ryan, but what are your thoughts on Joey Ryan? Like, are you surprised? Are you, and I think Joey Ryan is a special case, I think, because he's had probably so many, a few offers come to the table, and he's honestly just said, no, I'm actually good where I am. I want to stay on the independent scene. I want to be creative. I want to do I want to do my own thing. So what are your thoughts on Joey Ryan?
I mean, woman beating is popular on YouTube.
What?
Yeah, he's right. I was gonna say that shit.
Darius Carter, probably a lot of people who look at those videos from India, because Darius Carter numbers was 2.something million. Why do you think that Darius Carter get booked for always beating on women? So
because he's not lying though.
It's India.
He's not lying, B.
Like Indian love when you beat women.
No, it's not just Indian. It's just some weird fetish of that shit, bro. Like, so you 100% right. You're 100% right about that.
India.
There's some weird thing about intergender matches, and it's not about the wrestling part.
No, it's just
So I can honestly say that accounts for like a solid 500,000, just right there. Now the other 1.5 or 1.7, 1.8 after that, you got to understand Joey Ryan brand is ridiculously strong.
Super.
I am not a fan of him in the wrestling ring.
I know.
Absolutely not, because that dick flip is the stupidest shit in the world.
But it works.
But the thing about it, it's over.
It works.
It's over as fuck, and I will never knock a nigga's hustle. Homeboy is hustling, but people like seeing women get beat. It's a sad thing. Now, with that combined with Joey Ryan's brand is ridiculous. But the fact they did 2.1
one match
in 24 hours says a lot about who Joey Ryan is.
It says a lot about people and women beating.
Okay, or people that may just like wrestling or like.
No, it shows a lot about Joey's brand. That's the biggest thing that I can get from there. It shows about who Joey.
Because I feel like a lot of people shit on Joey because of the whole dick flip and stuff like that, and touch my dick or suck my lollipop and all type of shit.
But then again, everybody complaining about what's the dude's name? I forgot the dude's name. I can't remember his name right now. He the one who made the Canadian Destroyer popular.
Who?
Everybody hated him. He was in TNA. He made the Canadian Destroyer popular. He popularized it.
I don't know.
Yo, son, what's his name?
I don't know.
But why were people mad
You
about
don't have
it?
to pull that out.
Because it was just polarizing. Everybody thought it was fake. So I'm saying there's always something, someone that's always polarizing people hate.
He's one of the biggest things is that
Perry Williams. Thank you.
Perry Williams.
Shout out to Tiff.
So a lot of it has to do with the fact that
Not Perry Williams, Petey Williams.
I'm gonna say, oh, you talking about Petey Williams of Canada? Okay,
yeah.
I'm like,
Joey Ryan is not wrestling. It's not your wrestling wrestler. It's not your favorite wrestler's wrestler.
He's not a technical wrestler. Like,
But the thing about it, he's so out there.
The gimmick it overshadows the
But
actual wrestling.
you gotta respect him because 2 years ago he was at.
My man
was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago he was at Legends, falling asleep on the couch, coming from a indie show.
Yeah, like shout outs to Pete and them that did. I think he did their Violence and Suffering show.
Yeah,
and he came. We were in Jersey and it was a pay-per-view. We came and we brought Joey Ryan to Legends.
He was super nice about it.
He's like, I'm telling you, if you ever meet like wrestlers, like I've not really experienced it myself, but 99% of the wrestlers I've ever met, whether it's on the indie, WWE, MLW, TNA, whatever it is, humble as fuck.
Check them out, cool.
Joey Ryan was like a regular dude. Just
all of them are regular people.
Chill and drink and have a good time.
Shout out to Val Venus for smoking with me.
And me.
But the thing
is, so shout out to
but hold on,
James Gunner. What's his name?
But hold on,
James Storm.
But hold on,
you drunk with him.
I did.
But hold on, like
I got put that video.
You see what you guys just said?
Yeah.
You guys just said that they're regular people.
Yeah.
And I know I bring this up all the time on the podcast, but I hate when people try to shit on wrestlers, like especially like saying, "Oh, they're such assholes." Yo, if I'm coming off a fucking plane,
leave me be.
Like,
yeah.
Even if you want an autograph, be respectful. Yeah. And if the wrestler says, "Yo, no," respect that.
Yeah. Like I told y'all last week, I was on the plane with Kurt Hawkins, and I low-key got excited, but I was just like,
"No, I'm saying hi."
It's a 7 a.m. flight. I'm not even a morning person, so I'm not saying.
It depends
shit.
what it is, though.
I'm pulling up.
I'm not in my head. And be like,
I'm pulling up on Kurt. Yo, Kurt.
You
I
cannot.
won't Kirk, but I'll pull up on
Zack Ryder. I know you.
I go
everyone.
woo, woo, woo.
Everyone. Yo, I wait. All right. Well, ladies, before we. Did you just hear it?
I did. With the Timbs on.
With the Timbs on. I wish
dead
I could see.
asses.
She got dead asses.
Dead
She got dead asses on.
Wow, he really got the Timbs on alive. That's crazy. Wow.
I mean, it's a roller coaster ride. You gotta come up and come down. Come up, come down. It's real life. Like that. This is his life. So I'm sorry, but if you don't know, he does
dancing into the
he
morning.
does have the same disease as I said as Andre the Giant. So I mean, once again, like different, body parts, they ache different. They keep growing and there's a lot that goes into that.
It's called gigantism. Is that what it is?
I think so. But well, once again, so the question to the table is: are you gonna watch this new Netflix show? Because I think I am. I'm intrigued to see Big Show kind of be like the Tim Allen in the home improvement side of things. And then do you ever see him coming into the ring for one more match? And if so, against who?
I'll watch it. If I could watch the Dolph Ziggler movie, I could watch his show.
What Dolph Ziggler movie?
There was a Dolph Ziggler movie. He was a cop. And
talking to the mic.
Kane, so Kane was his boss. And it was mad for he was a cop. Kane was his boss. And Rusev had a gun in there and he super kicked him. It was just like one of those like straight to DVD, $5 bargain in the bundle. You get like 10 DVDs for $5 type of movie.
Ted.
It was cool, but
listen. My hope, because I know someone in the WWE listens to this podcast because Ember Moon's hair they be upgrading it. But y'all need to put all those like Marines and all those like WWE superstar movies on the fucking network.
The Marines
like,
is tough.
Dead ass.
12 rounds with The Rock.
12 rounds
with
John Cena, and then with Dean Ambrose from
shout out to John Cena for getting a poppin' ass career so fast.
Poppin'.
Because I just had to put that out there.
But so then the question to you, I'm dead. Then the question is, do you ever see Big Show coming back in the ring? And if so, against who?
I'm okay.
Wow, you're good on it?
It's kind of like Mark Henry. Like, let me remember you as your good run.
You wouldn't want to see Mark one more match. You lying like shit, because you would.
I actually tag team with D'Lo Brown.
D'Lo can't move no more, son. I seen that picture of him.
He's like a balloon.
I mean, listen.
He like a little thicker.
Like, it's just like, I'm good. It's just like Big Show's the type of dude where like, I'm good, Like, okay. I'm good on you. Like, there's no offense if you come back, do like a battle royal or something like that. Cool, but.
All right, you don't see it. Okay.
I'm good.
So, Wilkins, what are your thoughts on this new show? And do you think Big Show will ever come back into the ring?
I like the concept. One of the biggest things, like, I know people shit on WWE so much. But once you're in there, you're in there.
Yeah.
Because look at Big Show. He's been with the company for how many years?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Put that down. So he been in the company for how many years? And they still use him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he needs in some capacity. Yeah.
They will find something for you, especially if you're loyal to the company.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super happy for the fact that he got something going. You're getting a 10-episode Netflix deal.
Netflix show. And
Guaranteed,
that's not easy.
WWE probably taking half of that shit. But still, you're getting a 10-episode Netflix deal. Some people don't get that. Some actors never get something.
But I
like
like the fact that we're getting to see like a different side of wrestling. Not even wrestlers, but wrestling.
Yeah, but you see the
other
comedic side. You see that they're acting chops, and I think it's the concept sounds corny, but kind of cool at the same time. And do I want to see him in a ring? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Big Show should have stopped wrestling about 4 years ago. I was never really a huge fan of Big Show. Only his WCW days and early WWE days.
Deadass, the Giant.
Yeah.
Look back at old WCW shit
Yeah,
on the
Giant.
network. The Giant.
Yeah, when he had the long
with
hair.
Kevin Sullivan.
He's out here smacking motherfuckers. And
I
he was
tell you, that shit where he took the title from fucking Hogan. Yup, that happened.
my God.
But I respect him as a wrestler, as an ambassador for WWE. But he needs to stop.
All right, so let's move right along. A new addition to Impact.
This is dope.
I think it's a good. Honestly, the question is going to come to you guys, but I think Impact actually won a little bit more out of this deal than she did. So Impact Wrestling announced that Tenille Dashwood, formerly known as Emma, has officially signed to Impact. She will be debuting in Mexico City, Mexico, August 15th and 16th. And as you know, Emma was a part of the WWE family for about 6 years. And she went through main roster NXT and FCW. And then you last seen her on Ring of Honor, which they didn't do anything with her. And they still don't do anything with their fucking women's division. But that is a totally different conversation. So the question to the table is, who benefited more from this deal? Did Impact or did Tenille did? Question to the table.
I think it's more 50-50 on this one.
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's a 50-50 deal on this
Impact
one.
got more benefit.
Well,
out of this.
hold let her brother
ahead.
talk real
Go.
quick, because I know you got your spicy little opinions. So first of all, let's break it down real quick. Impact gets a former WWE superstar, correct?
Yeah.
Also, a former star that's been active in the indie scene.
Yeah.
So it isn't like her star has dropped too quickly.
No.
Just that she hasn't been on TV for that long. Now, this helps boost up the women's division in Impact, which is a pretty solid women's division as of right now.
Yes.
But it gives more of a technical feel. Because besides Tessa, most of the ladies are more like solid workers.
Yeah.
Nothing super technical. And I think, I'm not going to say that Tenille is like on the same level as Tessa, but Tessa's a Maserati, first of all. When it comes to ring skills, I've said this before, Tessa's a fucking Maserati.
Shit is wild.
And, you know, Tenille's a nice little Lexus.
True.
She can go, but she's not Tessa. And I remember I told you guys, when I saw Tessa wrestle at that show with Impact versus Hog, the girls were solid in the ring, but Tessa was moving at light speed
another level.
compared to the rest of the women on there.
She's on
And
another
no
level.
offense to the girls that were wrestling with her, but it was just a whole different ball game. But back to what I'm saying, how does Tenille get love from this? You're on TV again.
Weekly.
You're on TV weekly. It may not be the right fucking television station because they have some weird ass fucking
I
stations.
need Impact to just get a different TV
Yeah,
show. Just figure it out.
Trash. But at the same time, you're giving Impact some star power in the women's division, but you're also giving Tenille exposure. It may not be grand exposure,
way
but
better
it's
than
still
what
better
she
when she's
was
getting at
working
ROH,
with. Yeah.
and she's gonna get into the mix
Yeah.
automatically.
I agree.
So this is a great deal for her. This is something great for both of them. It's a 50-50 thing. It benefits them. And why it benefits her? Because she's not stuck in a deal where she can't wrestle anywhere else.
True.
So you want to do the call?
I guess.
Or you want to say something, brother?
No, I'm good.
We'll come back to it. Don't worry. We actually, those are on the live feed. Tell a friend to tell a friend right now. We are going to do a special call in with our host of our SummerSlam party. If we can get him on the phone, because he's a busy man.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to have a really good conversation with our amazing host, Mr. Peter Rosenberg.
Hello.
Welcome to the
How are you
Java
guys?
Tears podcast. How are you?
I'm okay. A little bit tired.
I mean,
I'm good.
you're a busy man,
You're
brother.
busy.
You all over the world.
Yeah, it's hard to get a hold of you.
Yeah, I'm at least all over New York, but I'm doing pretty good though.
Well, we wanted to talk to you real quick. I mean, if you want to just let the fans know, once again, give yourself a good old introduction and also tell them about your podcast and, what you guys have been up to on that end.
Yeah, well, I do a bunch of different radio shows, but as far as wrestling goes, I do the Cheap Heat podcast through ESPN. It comes out late in the week, usually Thursday or Friday, on ESPN. You can get it on the ESPN app or wherever you download podcasts, Spotify, whatever. And we talk about the world of wrestling in our own little way. We have our own little universe. We do guests occasionally, but generally we just sort of take our take on the world of wrestling. I try to give a little bit of inside opinion and information based and mix it with, just the opinions and thoughts of real fans, and that's basically what we do.
That's awesome. So real quick, who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
My two favorite wrestlers of all time are Bret Hart and Randy Savage.
Yes, macho.
Did you just say Brett over Sean?
Yes.
Yes.
You said Brett over Sean? Oh.
Yeah. It is real.
Somebody's got a super kick at the viewing party.
I mean, you're lucky you brought it up with me and not my partner at Stack Eye Greg. He would get physically ill at the thought of someone saying Sean over Brett. I am a Sean appreciator. I mean, he really his run is absolutely crazy. I mean, I've been recently revisiting 2005, which is incredibly already 14 years ago, and even that run, which was 20 years into his career, he was still doing incredible work. But I don't know, as a kid, I never related to the character. I didn't have an interest in the pretty boy, long hair. I know I'm cute. I think I'm sexy vibe. I just didn't. It wasn't me. I was always a Bret guy.
Well, I don't blame you. I mean, my favorite is Macho, so you had me at that. But so we wanted to just kind of talk to you about what are your thoughts on the current state of wrestling? Like you've had some experience with WWE. If you want to touch on that and talk about your experience inside the E, and also what are your thoughts on kind of independent wrestling kind of coming to the forefront? I think I always tell them it's a really good time to be a wrestling fan. So what are your thoughts on the current state of wrestling right now?
Well, I think it's a mixed bag. I think in one sense it's an incredibly exciting time because we are on the precipice of, a really interesting TV battle with AEW getting in the game and going live on cable on Wednesday nights this fall. Plus you have WWE moving SmackDown to Fox, which I think wrestling being back on broadcast television is a big deal. And I think, as someone who's like kind of a media nerd in addition to a wrestling nerd, I really appreciate how big it is that it will be on Fox. Ratings on broadcast television are just generally higher. There are eyeballs there. So it is just going to be interesting to see how SmackDown changes, if it really starts to sort of compete with Raw in terms of being a flagship show for WWE. And then, of course, it's also fascinating that you see Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff in these new roles. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really, really cool. Plus you have the changes that I just think will exist inherently by AEW providing some level of competition, whatever level that is. Plus you have so many other indie companies doing shows and doing well. You have NXT, which is just, probably from a consistency standpoint, the best product from a traditional wrestling standpoint that I think you can find on television or on the network. So I think it's a really good time. But then at the same time, there have been, I think, frustrations with writing and stories and missed opportunities. I've been disappointed with kind of what's happened with the Becky Lynch character and how much potential was there. I'm among the people who sort of sick of the Brock Lesnar storyline being rehashed over and over again. This has been going on for a very long time. He's been back for like 7 years. And I also think there's opportunities with John Cena. I mean, this could be the last run that John Cena has to be, active, even if in a limited capacity. And the fact that the last two WrestleManias were him rapping this year and then a squash match that was unannounced against The Undertaker last year, those are two things that really irked me. But then there's also Kofi Kingston, which has been awesome, and the New Day in general, which has been tremendous. And a lot of other people in the women's division who I think are great. Alexa Bliss, who's been phenomenal, though I think some of what's happened to her character recently hasn't been great either.
But I think part of that is because of her injury, though. I think, I think their main concern is the concussion part. And I think that's why they're kind of like iffy with her and do things a little weird with her because they're still, I think, very unsure about how to handle her.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a component of it. Created complications. I just think that when she is being utilized, I just don't think the Nikki Cross story has done that much. It's been okay. It just seems it lacks a little bit of direction. I also think that she's such a good talker, and the way that A Moment of Bliss is done, she generally gets about 10 seconds before it devolves into something else every single time. And if you were to compare that to Miz TV, for example, even though Miz TV's segments are about the guests that he has, it definitely provides more of an opportunity for the Miz to get over. And I don't think A Moment of Bliss does that with Alexa. Okay.
All right. Gentlemen, do you guys have questions for our amazing host of our viewing party? Let's talk some wrestling.
You interviewed Sasha a while back, which was a really good interview, by the way. Shout outs to you
Thank
for
you.
that. What are your thoughts on her right now? I know she hasn't been back in a while. Do you think her not being there, her presence there is being missed?
Yes, I do. But at the same time, when you talk about a character who is sort of misused, there was so much time when Sasha was around where she wasn't being used in a way that I think was effective, that while she is missed, I do think that when she eventually returns, it could end up being a really positive thing. I mean, we exist at a time when people are used so frequently that, like my old co-host, the great David Shoemaker, who does his own podcast for The Ringer, the Masked Man Show, he's always been a proponent of an off season for wrestling.
I've always said that too.
Yeah.
And at least an off season for talent. And so I do think there are times, like you look at someone like Sasha, she has amazing gifts and she has limitations. I think on the mic she is limited, but I think in the ring she's phenomenal. And I think there are people like her that when you don't have the proper thing to do with them, even if this was not something that they chose to do, it sort of just happened. I think this sort of self-imposed break could end up really serving to recharge her whenever she comes back.
So one more question. We're staying on the women's division right now. A lot of people have said that it's fell apart after Ronda left, and that they're not fully utilizing the division at all. But we've seen women on TV weekly. What are your thoughts on all that?
Well, I do think that some damage was done by Ronda being there. So much was put into Ronda that everyone became second fiddle.
Told you.
Like Alexa Bliss again, for example. This is a multi-time champion of Raw and SmackDown who had beaten everybody on the roster, basically. And then she completely jobs to Ronda. I mean, she couldn't even hurt Ronda Rousey. She couldn't even make an impact on her
Ronda
at
hurted
all.
her.
So to me, what you end up saying is like, not only is this multi-time champion ineffective against Ronda Rousey, but this person who is capable of beating everyone from Charlotte to Nia Jax to everybody, she can't do anything against Ronda Rousey. And to me, that ends up being damaging for the whole division. And you have Becky Lynch, who managed to get to this really incredible place while Ronda was around. But they mistimed the story. So by the time it got to WrestleMania, I don't think anyone likes to say it, but like, that main event was quiet. It was too late in the night.
Mm-hmm.
It was a story that had played out. I mean, how many times have they been broken up by the police? They did the same thing over and over and over again. And everyone with a pulse knew Becky was going to win at WrestleMania. So you get to this moment that we all knew was going to happen. And along the way, really took a lot of the steam out of Becky. And, you know, I have some nerdy, nuanced things that I bother me about Becky. I don't like her.
I don't
like
either.
what her. What do you say?
I don't either. I agree. I told them that all week. It's just trash. It's just like, I don't understand. What are we doing?
Hold on. You need to relax.
No, I'm just saying.
trash.
I'm glad I have someone on my side on this one, because it's just like.
Well, no. I definitely didn't say she was trash.
Not trash, but.
No, you said trash.
I said trash. He didn't say trash.
I don't like her. I don't like her ring gear at all. You know, like it's a small thing, but I mean, she was supposed to be, and she was, this Steve Austin-like character.
Yeah.
And then they put her in like this black,
They put her in the female. They
look.
put her in the female Seth Rollins gear. That's what they did.
Yeah, they really did. And it just, to me, it ended up limiting her character. And then by putting her in this relationship thing, it limited her character. And like, you know, I'm not trying to say that it could have never worked. And like, you can't have a relationship exist and have it be effective. But at the time that the Seth and Becky story came together, I just don't think anybody was checking for it. Like, I just don't think anybody cared to see Becky in a relationship. And furthermore, this is no indictment of their actual relationship, but like, they don't have a great on-screen chemistry. You know, like a lot of people complained this season on Game of Thrones that Daenerys Targaryen and Jon Snow are two amazing characters, but on camera together, they just weren't magic. Like, they were cool, but it just wasn't the same magic that they had in other settings. And I compare Seth and Becky to Dany and Jon Snow. I just don't think they completely gel on camera together. So I think Becky's great. I think she's incredibly charismatic. I think she looks unique. I think she sounds unique. I think she's good in ring. I just don't like the way it's been handled and milked, kind of.
I think one of the biggest things with Becky and Seth is that they didn't want it. It feels like they didn't want it to be a storyline. As soon as it started, they were like, "All right, we have to do this shit. All right, let's do this." And also, I'm gonna say this right now. Some people don't agree with me. Seth is corny as a face, point blank. He's a tweener to me.
He's a much better heel. I agree.
He's a tweener
it's
to
interesting
me.
because he's a baby face in real life, you know, and he's a really good dude, but the character works way better as a guy you can't quite read, or leaning heel. I do think it gets repetitive. And again, I think having him and Brock again is repetitive.
Oh, man,
I'm just like, I was at a point where when they had that battle royal a few weeks ago, which I thought was a cool concept and kind of was a throwback, I was at a point where when it happened, I wanted Randy to win the battle royal. Like I actually, and even though Randy Brock has already happened, I actually would have been more excited.
It actually
to
didn't
see
happen.
Randy
We
and
all
Brock.
know that really didn't happen.
I was
He ended
more
up
excited
busting.
for potentially Biggie.
I know.
Yo, Biggie would have
Yeah.
won.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would have been cool
man.
too.
I mean, my only thing with what I like about Brock, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong or no, and give me your opinion on this one, is that Brock has this retarded realism to wrestling. You know what I mean? And hear me out. Him coming in and just demolishing people because of his size, it works so well.
Yeah.
Now, my issue with Brock is that he's a part-timer. And it takes away from other guys who could, let's be honest. It takes away from other guys who could be in that slot. That's my only thing, because now you're not building up other stars. The reason why we're complaining and people complaining in general about WWE is that where's your top 6 stars? I always go back to that Hell in a Cell match when you had Undertaker, Rikishi, The Rock, Stone Cold, Kurt that clusterfuck of a match. But all of them were superstars. And WWE needs to go back to having superstars, not just stars. And that's just my thing, where you have Brock around, and I love him, but at the same time, that part-timer thing is taken away from somebody that could potentially be a superstar. And they need to start building superstars.
But then again, that goes back to the era when, like, John Cena was the only man on top.
Well, that's because...
And that literally killed everyone else of the momentum. The Miz is now coming back on top. Now, Dolph is kind of getting more shine. Big E kind of getting more shine, because it was the era where, like, he felt only one superstar on top, throwback era to when it was Hogan. And it worked for a while because there's no competition. So you didn't need no one else. And on top of that, Cena's Super Cena. Like, he gets hurt, get hit by a truck. The next day, he was at the hospital. So when you have a man like that on staff, you kind of get lazy.
What do you think? What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, no. I think it's definitely a concern. You know, I mean, yes, Brock, of course, him being there and being part-time is irritating, but I think there's another part that's irritating, which is Brock doesn't talk, and he's one of the greatest ever, but I'm kind of over Paul Heyman yelling about Brock. Like, it's just been year after year after year of the same thing. So, like, if Brock was willing to develop the character and was willing to talk more and give us a little more, I think it could be great. But yeah, as a part-timer who doesn't talk, it just ends up wearing me out. Every blue moon, you get a match from him that's phenomenal. Yeah. And when you get one of those realistic matches, you know, like the Cena match back in 2012, or, you know, he has these moments that are really great, and you're thinking, oh my God, is this real? Like, he still has the ability to have you go, wait a second, what's going on here?
Yeah.
He is that guy. But the thing is, it's so infrequent, and the rest of the time, it ends up just being, you know, tired to me.
I get you.
Listen, he's a star. He's charismatic. He's a physical freak. He's an incredible athlete, and he's still in good shape and can go. So he should be utilized. I just don't think it helps anyone that whenever he's involved, you basically know he's going to win. And now, you know, you just kind of see the Seth story replaying again and again. And I just feel like it's been Seth and Brock forever.
All right, Peter Rosenberg, we got one final question for you before we let you get some rest. Who do you think will be the breakout star of 2019?
Breakout star of 2019.
I know we're halfway kind of through the year, but like, who's the one, you know, either one or two superstars, and it doesn't have to only be WWE. Who do you think will really kind of hit their top towards the end of this year?
I mean, I'll go with the sort of easy answer that I know some people may disagree with, but I think because he's going to be on cable television in the U.S. every week, I think it could be Kenny Omega. You know, and he may have already, you know, there are some people who don't feel, you know, they feel that when I say he's the best wrestler in the world, maybe that time has already passed and he's no longer still the number one guy in the world. I think he is. I just think the fact that you're going to get to see someone that good on TV on a weekly basis, he is going to get new eyeballs. We always think that, you know, every wrestling fan has seen everything that's ever happened. And the fact is, Kenny Omega is still new to people. And I've sort of given up on him ever going to WWE. So I think this may be the real pinnacle of his career and the biggest opportunity. So I'll go Kenny Omega. I think he's going to have, I think when people get a chance to see him on a week-in, week-out basis, that their head's going to explode. And hopefully he's booked the right way. You know, hopefully they don't do matches with him where every week he hits, you know, 30 V-triggers and kicks out of 60 finishes. But I really think that from a pure wrestling standpoint, I just don't think it gets any better than Kenny Omega.
All right. Well, Kenny Omega, guys, you heard it first. Could be the breakout star of this year. Well, we want to thank our amazing host of our SummerSlam viewing party, Peter Rosenberg,
Thank you.
for taking some time out and talking the shit with us for some wrestling. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday at Legends. He will be live at 5:30 at Legends doing his podcast live at Legends. So we look forward to having you there. Please get some rest because we need you at a 10 next weekend, okay?
Yes, I will be ready. Thank you, Jobber Tears. I'll see you guys next Sunday at Legends. Tickets are on Eventbrite for the live podcast, and I'll be hanging out all night with everyone, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thank you, and we will see you next Sunday. Thank you so much.
Peace out, guys.
Take care. All right, guys, that was fun.
We got Yaya in a couple of weeks.
Calling in. Let me tell y'all about Yaya, my beloved Yaya, because for him, I'm mad at him on the low because I would have rather seen him win the PWX title in person, but to see him at such a tender young age, because he's a young tenderoni, ladies.
Is he like around our age?
No, he's not.
Like
he's like 20. He's young.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's like 23.
Yes, he is. Believe it or not.
How old is Savannah's a little bit older, right?
Yeah, I think Savannah, honestly, either Savannah or Montana are like probably the older ones in the crew, but like Darius and Yaya are the youngies. Yeah, Black don't crack, so yeah. So.
Nah, but the thing is, like you're about to say, I know I just interrupted you. Like
I know, because
what he's doing at this age is amazing.
Yaya's good.
Amazing.
Yaya's not good. Yaya's great. Like his last match at Battle Club Pro, and I know people who are listening to us right now, watch this on Facebook, on IG Live. Yaya, the great one
from
on
the Boogie Down
on Instagram. Please follow him
and
check his stuff out. Like
he is a thickums high flyer. I kid you not.
But the thing is, he is this generation's big dudes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the way he moves,
nice.
He's big. This generation's big dude.
Nice.
And shout outs to him. So he will be calling in maybe next week, I do believe, or in a week or two. No, in a week, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I'm still mad he didn't win at Battle Club though.
I'm super tight he didn't win at Battle Club. But his first defending, because he's the reigning defending champion for PWX, he is going against no other than the former WWN champion JD Drake. And when I tell you,
that's gonna be in BCW, right?
That is it's gonna be at PWX the weekend or something. They always fucking
are they on demand?
I do believe so, or on High Spot Network. They could be, but I'll double check.
Yeah, check that out because I want to watch it.
Anyone that is in the Charlotte, North Carolina area or in the
North
South,
Carolina, raise up, put up your head, just like a helicopter.
Anyone in the North Carolina, Charlotte area, please make sure to visit. Go down to PWX's show. Actually, it is next Saturday. They always seem to run fucking pay-per-view weekends. It mind blows me. But once again, it will be Yaya defending his new title against JD Drake. And when I tell you, it is going to be a heavy hitter.
I ain't gonna front.
That is an
when I saw him win that title, I almost cried.
But it gave me flashbacks to Kofi. I was like, oh my God. Because you have to understand, like when we met him almost a year ago, he was young, upcoming, coming from, down in Carolina, but he's from New York.
Yeah.
And, and to us, we kind of just took him under our wing and said, you're like our brother. And, once again, shout outs to him, Montana, Darius,
Savannah,
Darius Lockhart.
Darius Lockhart.
Yeah.
Quickly before we move on to like our review, Chris, shout outs to Chris. Gortez? That's how you pronounce Chris' last name? Gortez?
Maybe.
Okay.
I just know my last name.
He's in our group chat. For God's
yeah,
sakes.
no, I know Chris.
Well, he said one thing. Will Ospreay, that's the breakout star of the year.
Okay.
First half MVP.
You know what? Those that are watching on the live feed and those that are on Facebook Live, put your potential breakout star of 2019. Because if you did not hear, TMZ reported that they had caught The Rock. And it was reported like maybe 2 hours ago. But they caught The Rock, and The Rock said Drew McIntyre should be the star.
Yes, duh. That's duh.
So I think it's interesting that he said that. But
shout out to Chris for saying that. Anybody else, like, just leave who you think is going to be, who should be.
Who do you think
is the breakout star of the year?
What do you
so
thinking?
Drew McIntyre old song.
I was like, what are you singing over there? Who do you guys think, real quick? So
Break
before
us-
we go to
break us
before
up,
we go
yeah.
to our WWE recap this week, this week was solid, I think. But
Now I
before
want
we
to say
get
breakouts of a comeback player of the year. Got to be Kevin Owens.
there, yeah, Kevin, KO's coming for that
As
comeback.
a comeback player of the year, if you want the rising star, it got to be Ricochet.
Yo, they push Ricochet on
Heyman loves him.
a different plateau. Yeah, I know.
But I've always said this, and I remember I was talking to Jaquan about like the look. Like for instance, Randy had the look
yeah,
of the current wrestlers of today before anybody else, and Ricochet is your prototype of what wrestlers look like of
just
today.
Ricochet last name wasn't Orton. It's okay.
Yeah,
It happens to the best
But
of us.
anyways, but mine, and I already said it before on like the group page on
Mm-hmm.
our Instagram, is Tessa.
Okay.
Tessa's year so far, and what she's
Tessa.
done inside out the ring. And I'm talking about not just at Impact, just at indie shows.
Yeah.
Just seeing her in general, her brand, her mic skills, the way she carries herself. Like
Yeah, no, I get it.
she is. This is gonna sound fucked up. She's doing what Becky is supposed to do in WWE. You see that swagger?
But she don't have the tools.
Who?
There's a difference. Becky doesn't have those
But
tools.
yes, yes.
And she's supposed to have those tools, and she doesn't have
But
those tools.
regardless, the way that Tessa carries herself. She got the sunglasses on, got the like this the swag, B.
And then she's
Yo, she's
also a
dripping
Blanchard.
swag goo.
I'm saying she get it from a daddy.
What's that that camera song with Kanye?
What camera song?
Come on, y'all know this camera
All I
song.
think about when you said swagger, you a bad girl, but your friend's bad too. Oh, that's all I thought
there's
about.
another one. There's another one. I'll figure it out. I'll put it on the page.
Anyway.
But anyways, that's like
You say Tessa. You said Ricochet.
Kevin Owens.
Oh, Kevin Owens. You said Ricochet.
I said Tessa.
But when did I mention Ricochet?
He said Rising Star as well.
Okay. Who do I think before we get into this? It's so many people. I mean, Peter brought a good point about Kenny Omega because a lot of people do not know the realism of Kenny Omega, and I think him being on a weekly TV will definitely get people to know who the fuck he is.
You know what? Nah, I take it back.
But
John Moxley. I think that he's covering every experience.
breakout, yeah.
Like I feel like he will give. He is because he gives like everybody know what to expect with Kenny. You know what you're gonna see. You know what you're gonna get if you look him up. You know you can get. Ratings star breaker type of matches. You know you're gonna get. But everybody's so used to knowing Dean Ambrose. People always remember him as being lazy, being silly. So now when you look up John Moxley, you're like, wait a minute, he looks familiar. So
Because it's the same fucking person.
no, I know what you're talking about.
No, it's not.
Like
John Moxley and Dean Ambrose are
I know
two
you're
different
talking
people.
about.
Oh, okay, cool.
Now you're talking about just like the Kevin Owens stunner is different than the Steve Austin stunner, different power levels.
Wait, come again? Because I will pull up this episode of where I got bashed for saying the same moves were different.
No,
And you just sat here and said
but it's like no,
Austin's stunner is different than Kevin Owens'
no,
stunner.
because the power levels. It's like how that's how it's called a Kevin Owens stunner. That's Kevin
Like
Owens.
it's like Ken's Hadouken
His power
is
levels
different.
Power levels is different.
from
It's the same
from
fucking
Ryu's
thing. No, it's not.
Hadouken.
No,
No,
it's
it's
not.
not.
Same fucking
No,
thing.
it's not.
It's
You
different
can't.
part.
Here
You
we
can.
go.
Wait. Like we said before, Ken's Hadouken is not the same.
Guess what? Those references doesn't matter to me because I don't watch Dragon Ball Z.
It's
so I
it's
don't
not
give a
Dragon
fuck.
Ball Z, B.
So
It's
even
Street Fighter.
there you go. I
Get
don't watch
with
that
it.
shit either.
Get with it.
I don't watch that shit
different
either.
power
There
levels.
you
So
go.
when like Kevin Owens does a super kick, it add like a letter L like power to it.
Like
That's his combo.
the greatest super kick in wrestling belongs to Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. It's
The
different power
second
levels.
greatest super kick is the Young Buck super kick because they do like a double super kick.
The power level is different.
Okay. But
No, it's not.
But anyway, let's jump.
Oh,
into,
because y'all want to pick two people, I'm gonna pick a second
I didn't
person.
pick two people. I
Yeah,
actually
no.
didn't say. I agreed.
MJF.
Yeah, I got MJF.
Y'all be sleeping on
Malcolm.
y'all be sleeping on MJF.
Well,
like
MJF's is basically the Miz without the filter. Simple.
Really has no fucking filter. It's ridiculous.
And a song called Down and Out.
There's so many
yes, that's the song. That's Tessa.
down and out.
Yes.
Dun. That song.
Yeah.
Yo, if she ever she can probably come out to that.
Yeah, because her pussy's the juices.
Shit. Wow. Wow.
Well, I don't know. But
Ricochet knows.
okay, yeah.
There you go. That's how you shut them up.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this WWE week. Where it's been very. you know what? They say, and you know the interwebs, that this week was the most heavily influenced Raw Paul Heyman had his hands on. And boy, did Raw deliver, yes or no? Because there were certain parts where I was like, oh shit, but then, oh shit, like Brock pulling that nigga out of the ambulance was everything.
Where was Becky?
In the back.
Where was Becky?
In the back. She was in the back.
I'm supposed to be wifey? Wifey ain't with you with that? Ain't in tears?
Yo,
because her man's hurt?
Listen, she got.
Becky's a whole ass chick for that. You a bird.
But
you a bird. A picture is a girl who's walking by. Don't even take care of a man when she's in the ambulance.
First of all, are you surprised? Yes or no? No. So what the fuck? Y'all expecting what? Nothing.
These Irish women, man, they ain't loyal.
Bruh. Look out for yourself, boo. So anyway, so one up, one down, gentlemen, from Raw this week.
I have no real downs.
What? That's a good one.
I have to say, I'd say my up is, I gotta say that Maria Kanellis, like, it's just like the great way just to get the title.
Being the first pregnant woman to be the 24/7
talk about diversity.
That shit's sexy.
Talk about diversity and trying to fill in all the blanks. Why not? You know, it's a good way to do it. Nobody gonna beat up on a pregnant woman.
No one is touching a pregnant. Yo, when she cut that promo with Braun standing next to her, I was like, there's a part of me that I want Braun to pick a little ass up though. But then there's other part of me like, Braun, don't do that. Sit that ass down.
My down is, you know, Seth Rollins being corny as usual. I'm sorry, Tyler Black being corny. So I will not refer him as his WWE name. I refer him as his name, Tyler Black.
Okay. So Wilkins, one up, one down.
My up is the overall use of different stars throughout the show.
Yo, remember when you texted me about Cedric Alexander, and at first I did, because I didn't watch Raw yet when you texted me that, so I was just like, he just talking about Cedric to talk about Cedric, because we're all about #Black Excellence. So shout out to Cedric and Ariel Monroe, because those, you know, that's fam.
Black Lord.
But then I watched the whole clip at the end of the Raw, like when he jumped off the top. I said, oh, my nigga getting real TV time.
That's what I'm saying is that, like, okay, granted, the internet was talking about, oh, there was blood. You know, Vince said there's not going to be any blood and guts like the competitors. When do you listen to Vince? When do you take this motherfucker seriously?
Not ever. First of all, he could change shit at the 8 o'clock hour.
And he don't care. And the fact that I'm pretty sure Heyman walked in and was like, yo, listen, we putting blood in. Shut up. Listen. And then he's like, yo, do you want to win this war? Because you know he pulled that.
Oh,
he pulled that card.
And you know, and he played the right part, because everyone know, you know, once again, him being on screen, you know, it can kind of give a blurred line, but even the way he played out the story,
it was
of him, even him telling Brock, like, yo, chill out, like, relax, like, Brock, sit down.
So, okay, let's quickly go through this right now. Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis. Where the fuck were they before? But now they're on Raw.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
But to be fair, he had a whole
but the thing about it. Think about it.
He had to get that
Think about it for a second. If Paul wasn't taking over, would he have been on TV for the most part, or would have been down in 205?
He probably would have been 205.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, Ricochet in the gauntlet match, earning a right to challenge AJ Styles.
See, now it goes back to what Peter Rosenberg had mentioned back, you know, when he was on the phone with us, like how they had brought this kind of like gimmick match, but I feel like they didn't use it properly. Like
they did it, but the thing about, like I said before, you need to build stars.
I mean, listen, I kind of like it because it also gave it also branched with the other storylines, because now you could do a blow-off match between Ricochet between Andrade and Rey Mysterio.
Exactly.
Yo,
so now,
off,
and now like it gives a spotlight on superstars that really use like Cesaro, introduce his new Storm. It's cool. It's cool.
It's cool because Andrade was used, not used. Now we all know him and Rey do magic.
Yeah.
So you know what? Let's do something. And now it did something when he took the mask off. We continue going on. The OC, the Revival, and the Usos. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking hate triple threat tag team matches.
I hate triple
that
threat
match was
matches,
fucking
period.
great. Yes or no?
was
That
great.
match was great. Revival's getting is getting a rub. They lose a title, and then you have the OC
Top guys.
getting something else.
Yeah.
Shout out to Revival being like fit thick.
Yeah.
Yo, my man's.
Yeah.
Y'all give me hope. I don't need. I can keep my 4-pack and be okay.
Wow.
But that my only issue, I didn't give a fuck about the Viking Raiders.
I never give a fuck about them, like,
But-
at all.
Yeah.
They're honestly getting to that same level as fucking Lucha House Party is for me. It's
Yeah.
just like, this shit is irrelevant.
because it's too gimmicky.
And honestly
It is.
speaking, but you know what I would, if I was them, honestly, just put Sarah Logan with her husband and have her either valet or manage or just be a stable on your own. Like, do your own shit. Like, at this point, because it's just like you keep throwing fucking jobbers to the fucking Viking experience. Which, I mean, shout outs to always the jobbers that are in that particular city because you get your time to shine. So there's no fault in that. But then what is the end game to this? Because then you once again, I mean, you're giving us a piece of what they're like soon to come, like like when you're at the movies and you got 20 minutes of previews, like these niggas is 20 minutes of previews.
Sometimes 30.
And it's fucking annoying. What movie theater have you been that had 30-minute previews?
They all seem to blur together after a while.
It's 20 minutes solid. Promise.
And also, just to finish off, Dolph is in there. I know Dolph is always been around, but I like Dolph being around.
Yeah.
I like Dolph. Dolph is like a utility guy. Toss him in there.
Whenever I think of utilities, I think of Monopoly.
Yeah, but he is. He's like a
He's a
utility
good guy,
guy.
good guy. And after that, you can't go wrong with The Miz versus Dolph.
Exactly.
And I told you that I am super excited because it gives me flashbacks of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. You're putting best friends together
And they're gonna
against
put a-
each
and they're
other,
gonna put a match
and
over.
they're gonna show everyone.
They're gonna put
the
a good
best.
match.
They're gonna put on.
They're
That's
gonna
an
put a good
undercard match on that card. I kid you not.
That's always say like The Miz is always go good with like he's like the perfect like medium character. He's Mario.
So
Call him
also just to
Mario.
finish off my point,
He is Mario. He's basically his Mario. Like
The
if you
Samoan-
want enough speed, you want enough strength, enough drifting power, you go with The Miz. He's good. He's average. He'll get you to the W.
Heard you. All right, finish your
the
statement.
Samoan descendant, and then you have Cedric. Like that shit is fire
Shit is
because they
hot.
keep using it, and then you have Roman almost die at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Yo, Roman.
My buddy Murphy.
Wait,
I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say that.
That's on SmackDown. Wait, we're not there yet.
But-
We're not there yet. So let's creep on to
But
SmackDown.
I'm just saying, like this is good. You're using more people. You're structuring the show where I'm not fucking bored.
I'm not asleep. I'm awake.
So
Good
I
morning.
just fucking enjoyed the
Good
shit.
morning,
Yeah.
WWE. So
I didn't
let's
fall
talk.
asleep. I only fall asleep at the very end.
Oh, good for you. I'm proud of
I
you on
usually
that
fall asleep
one.
at the- yeah,
I typically that 10 o'clock hour is my struggle
Nah.
hour. Cause
That's this week.
if I get home, I'm like, all right, cool. 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Cause I flip back and forth between Love and Hip Hop. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever.
Is that a new season?
And then soon, LA's coming up soon. They did the
I
reunion
don't
for Atlanta.
like LA.
I think LA this season's gonna be real
I only
interesting.
really fuck with New York.
Yeah. Oh, they doing Growing Up Hip Hop New York?
Really?
Yes. So they're gonna have Ja Rule's child, Ja Rule kids, Irv Gotti's kids, Charlie Baltimore's daughter, Flavor Flav's daughter, and how they don't get along at all. Like they've gotten like arrested for fighting each other type shit.
Who's fighting who?
Flavor Flav and his daughter.
Flavor Flav and his daughter?
Daughter.
Oh,
Niggas.
Yeah, so I mean, so that's just a tidbit in terms of Ratchet TV, guys. So growing up hip hop New York is a new season. So it's
Shout outs to Jess because me and her watch 90 Day Fiance.
yo, that show.
I watched
I'm
that
telling
show.
you.
I watched that show.
Oh, you do?
I'm telling you. Do you watch the breakout show with Chantel and Pedro?
I haven't. Well, how was it? How was the first episode?
Let me
gotta
tell.
smoke to that.
Let me tell you about this episode real quick. This whole concept.
Sorry,
because
guys. We like Ratchet TV.
We like Ratchet TV, sorry. But basically, so you already know the story about how Chantel family don't fuck with Pedro, and Pedro's mom and his sister don't fuck with her, and all type of shit, and everybody always trying to break up and blah, blah, blah. So it got so juicy that now TLC gave them a whole ass show. So now it's just more of an in-depth, like look into their lives, but also their other family lives. And also they look at other people in the family. So like her sister, so Chantel's sister she either got engaged to some nigga or something like that, but the nigga never met the family. So it's basically the same thing Chantel did. Just
They're white, right?
the nigga.
Oh, no,
no,
they're
they're
black.
black. They just like the daddy light skin. That's the only thing. So her brother and her sister, they're more fair skinned than she is, cause her mama is like my complexion, but her daddy look like Albie Shore. It's crazy.
Nah, the show is
This
cool.
show is
But let's move on to SmackDown. Guys.
Let's move on to SmackDown. Side note to the Ratchet TV portion of the show. So guys, one down. Or we can just kind of round robin talk about SmackDown. So I like the whole. You want to yawn first, sir? Sorry. I like the whole Shane not being on TV but still being on TV kind of concept, and still kind of being able to tell the story of the road to SummerSlam. Because once again, the stipulation is like if I think whoever loses quits, or like whoever loses is no longer employed by WWE. And I keep telling y'all, I mean, spoiler alert, this is how Shane gets written off TV, because this is what they've been talking about. So there that go. But Kevin Owens defeating Drew McIntyre, I think was really dope. I think it's building him up to that SummerSlam match. And then you had Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeating Bayley and Ember Moon. Actually, wait, side note. Real quick on Raw, though, because that whole Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross match, but Natalya running in, I thought Natalya was going to save her. Natalya said, fuck that bitch, and put her whole ass in a sharpshooter. Yeah. I said, oh, my God. Like, where was this Natalya 2 months ago? Like, when Ronda was still around and you was all buddy-buddy with her, you should have whooped that ass.
I hated that. You should have
whooped that ass.
I hated that.
But I was just so proud. Like, my heart just was like, Natalya, you're still like, you're being the heel, but people still love you, and I can appreciate that, especially going to your home country. But all right, back to SmackDown. So yeah, once again, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeating Bayley and Ember Moon. Once again, Ember Moon will be facing Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam. I'm all about Black excellence. So I actually kind of hope she wins, but it is what it is. But my highlight, and we got into it last time, but I am excited about Charlotte versus Trish Stratus.
Why?
Don't give a fuck what anyone says, because to me it's era versus era.
You like gimmicks.
I don't give a fuck.
You don't even like the actual wrestling.
I don't give a fuck. But no, but the thing is, you don't know until you see it. Like, if it's gonna be a bad match, all right, cool. But honestly speaking,
she better get in.
But the promo, first of all, Trish Stratus calling her a whole ass bitch on TV, I was like, whoa.
I've been saying this. The bitch is their word.
But they bleeped it out
on
YouTube. On YouTube, it's bleeped out. Dead ass, because that's how I saw it. YouTube is definitely bleeped out, but
on the WWE page.
Yeah. So, but everyone's exhausted today. Good morning, guys. But I'm sorry. For me, I'm starving. But for me, it can be a gimmick show, whatever. But I mean, to have Trish Stratus wrestle in her home country, to be, she basically said it, to be the woman, you got to beat the woman, and there's no denying Trish Stratus laid a pieces of the payment for women like Charlotte, like Bayley, like Becky, like, all of the women that are wrestling now, because, as her being, I believe, 6-time women's champion, like, that means something. And I think, once again, for Charlotte to be able to wrestle, the best in that era, or one of the best in that era, it will definitely more solidify her. And honestly, it gets her away from living in daddy's shadows, in my opinion, because she'll be able to really, cement her own legacy with her facing Trish. In my opinion, I'm excited as a female, as a wrestling fan. I think it's gonna be dope. I definitely think Trish, because I think Austin had posted on the group page that it should have been Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss.
Austin's a light-skinned dude, right?
But yes, light skin from Ohio. He's the light-skinned brother in the group. But everybody
Ohio.
And
I never talked to him before.
But
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks.
How old is he?
He's young 10. Too. Yeah, he's like 12.
I could tell.
He's like 12.
He had that young baby face.
Yes, but he can drink. That's all that matters.
He's 12.
No, he's not really 12. But
how old is he? How old is he? Well, he light-skinned, so he.
Austin's like, what did he just turn? I think he just turned 25.
Yeah, like he got that like I eat butt mustache.
But, wow, did y'all just say this nigga eat butt on TV?
Nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
I don't do it. I don't do it.
You don't do it? Mr. Freak Nasty, you don't do that? Oh.
You never ate butt? Never stuck your tongue in the butt?
This is not toxic talk. You gotta chill out. This nigga sound
I
good.
mean, I thought about doing it, but
You thought about it?
You ain't
so why
married
you
to
didn't?
me.
Oh, so marriage would solidify an ass eating.
yeah, of course.
Nah, you wifey. You got the butt lift.
I'm your wifey. No.
Wifey and wife are two
No,
different
you gotta
things.
be my wife. Like I gotta put a ring on you. No.
Nah.
We are clearly we already know your ass what you do.
I mean, listen. I never lived with a girl, so I don't know that if I live in
But you
a
don't
dog
gotta
house.
live in a girl to eat her ass like that. Ain't got nothing to do with B.
Listen, no.
But sorry, I'm just
thought about
saying.
it. I thought about it, but just like no.
So Austin did post about.
But
that.
Austin posted it, and if you do remember back when Evolution, about almost a year ago, it was supposed to be Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss. But Alexa, once again, Ronda being fucking careless, caused her concussion, and therefore she was unable to compete at Evolution.
Shit happens in the ring.
Nah,
Shit happens.
Nah, B.
Shit happens.
That ain't the first
That's
time
funny.
either.
Every time you step into the ring, your life is on the line.
It is, but you should also
Sound like a
be
bar.
mindful. That was a
Every time
bar.
you step in the ring, your life is on the line. So
Oh.
you gotta do stuff.
Ha.
Ho.
Hey. But let's continue. Dolph Ziggler defeating Finn Balor. And we getting the Firefly Fun House.
Excited.
You know you love you some Bray. And
What's our favorite wrestler?
And then Mustafa. I'm always gonna say Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
But
Ali?
defeated
Ali.
Mustafa Ali. Defeated Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke was using more moves.
Shinsuke got an arsenal, which I
Now
don't
he
know.
does.
No, he's always had one. He's always had one.
He never used it.
He uses his
Correct.
hands now.
Never said he didn't use it. I mean, granted, he hasn't used it yet, but
Yeah,
my
he uses-
man's,
We all know who he is.
my
He's
man's
a
got an
legend.
arsenal. So,
But he
don't
uses
be
his hands now in
surprised.
WWE.
Which is a good thing. Okay, good. And then we have our champion, our WWE champion Kofi Kingston defeating the United States champion AJ Styles on SmackDown. Ching.
Trouble in Paradise too.
Yo, you know what? No bullshit. I kind of want Kofi to come out to SOS at SummerSlam. I'm not even gonna hold you to it.
It would make sense because it's summer.
SOS.
No, but it kind of culminates.
So those
like
gonna talk about that Randy Orton
what Randy
promo.
Orton-
The vignette that was fucking fire.
Talk about it.
He used to come out to
Yoga
make
Flame.
and look at you now. Randy is so underappreciated. No, seriously.
No,
we really gotta look. We really gotta take a deep
legend.
dive real quick on this one
He's a real legend.
because we don't appreciate people when they're around.
Yeah,
we don't give
yeah.
motherfuckers their flowers. Because one person I didn't give him his flowers to when he was around, John Cena. I didn't completely give him his flowers when he was around, and I think
did.
people should start giving Randy Orton his
Yeah.
flowers.
Okay.
Like, think about it. 15-year career. Is it 15 or is it more? Or is it 18?
It's about
Sorry.
15
15
to 18 years.
15 to 18-year
It's been
career.
a long time.
Multiple
Half my
time
life.
champion.
Yeah.
He, granted, yes and no. People was like, oh, he got pushed to the top. No, bro. Like,
Yeah, bro.
you sitting-
Which is
No,
okay.
but you sitting next to your man.
No, which is
you was
okay.
sitting next to your man.
No, but I'm just saying, if you're gonna
But
call a spade
everyone
a spade,
always say this. Everyone say this. Just because someone get pushed to the top, you have to have the skill set to stay at the top.
No, which I agree, but I'm just saying, let's just not be. Let's
But-
not be
but-
completely
but-
blinded at the
but
fact
the thing
that
is, let's
my
not
man
deny-
came in as a third generation superstar. Like, we're not gonna just not say that or not leave that on the table or not acknowledge that. Like, and it
His
played,
pops wasn't popping.
and it played, but regardless, it played a role in how Randy was handled.
It played
Period.
a role because Randy looks like a beautiful
Randall-
man, B.
But Randall had
Randy-
some demons, and guess what? They still fuck with him.
But
Still
because
do.
he's talented.
And because his
called
last name is
No.
Orton.
Let's rewind this. Let's rewind this because you're not gonna do this to Randall.
No, but I mean, it's the truth. I like Randall is cool.
No.
Just saying.
Because you're talking about his demons. You're talking about his demons. Yes, but like literally 3/4 of that roster has demons.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they're still around
Yeah.
I'm not negating that.
because Jeff Hardy gets in trouble.
I don't understand.
Jey Uso gets in trouble.
Yo, that nigga got arrested and was on Raw. I was
Exactly.
like,
Yes,
what the fuck?
half that roster gets in trouble. Now, granted, some people you have to give them the Jordan rules. What are the Jordan rules? When you're that uberly talented, I said uberly. I'm that corny. Uberly talented,
Oh, when I said
you give him a pass.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Okay.
And, and he has been punished because he was at the top.
No,
and when he started
they
fucking up, they dropped him right back down.
They did.
Yeah.
They showed him the first time. It was like, nah, nigga, you gotta sit down. Like
Yeah.
they did. I'm not gonna. But I'm just saying.
And
like,
then injuries
we're
played a factor in his.
Injuries did. And, you know, everything. It's like a gumbo of things.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
But give my man his flowers.
But
B.
I'm not gonna
give Randall his flowers.
I'm not gonna discredit Randy for how he's handling this whole push to him and Kofi at SummerSlam. I think it's.
What did you think about the promo? Because you mentioned
it's a good build up.
It was good. You know, it's a good use of this is like a low-key fake long-term storyline. And it's basically
It is,
I always say this. They're making do of basically they are making what they could grab from the ashes from the John Cena era, the bad taste of it, and picking out different storylines.
You need to stop this, B.
They
Stop shitting on some Cena. It wasn't his fault.
I'm saying that like it wasn't, but again, back to the point at hand because I'm high. I need to focus. Back to the point at hand. They're getting certain pieces out from the ashes during that time era and dusting on see what they could do for it. Because that was a simple story that's always built in. That's bad. Accidentally is making them a lot of money because he spoke the truth, but then he twisted in a way that make it more entertaining purposes. Because we all know what really happened. He did that, but he said, yo, I don't want him to do that. And his momentum just literally stopped.
But all right, let's talk about the last piece of. You did watch the end of SmackDown. You saw Roman Reigns walking down to Kayla Braxton talking about, I'm going to announce who my SummerSlam opponent is going to be. And on his way to where she was standing, I need WWE to do better because that shit was like, just imagine like if you were a 5-year-old in a playpen and blocks just came tumbling over you. Like, that's how that shit looked. It looked so like kiddish. Like, it was like, really, y'all? That's what we doing? Oh my God! And it's like, and then you magically come from under the shit. Like, what?
And then everybody comes up, he's like, I'm okay.
I'm good. I'm all right. But it actually was
cancer.
It was weird.
Yeah, actually superpowers.
But you know,
that's true. Though.
I can't even argue that. But it actually was our rumor of this week. Before our host of our viewing party, Peter Rosenberg, called in, where people were suspecting that Joe did it because Joe would do some shit like that. But actually, if you look closely on the video, you see Buddy Murphy in the background walking away. So my question to you gentlemen actually was the rumor of the week. We're going to end the show with this question is, what are your thoughts on Buddy Murphy possibly attacking? Because it wasn't really going to attack. It was like blocks falling on a fucking guy. But whatever. Like,
try to hit him with a car.
2 pounds. Right. Like, try to Austin him, and then I'll be impressed. But anyway, what are your thoughts real quick on Buddy Murphy possibly being the
I think it's good because it doesn't
attacker?
damage. He's a megastar, so it doesn't diminish him. The one thing that
Talk on the mic.
The one that people have to understand is the fact that when it comes to a lot of these wrestlers, when you are solidified to the top, that should be just forever. But it's a way to bring up a little lower card, a forgotten player, up to the mid card. So he won't look weird if you throw him in Elimination Chamber. He won't look weird if you throw him in a 6-man scramble matches because you need a high card, middle card. So this doesn't damage nobody. And even if he loses, make sure that he looks good in the loss. So
my question, and then the follow-up question to you guys about the whole Buddy Murphy possibly attacking Roman is Roman in the position now to put guys over?
Yes. Yes. He's been there long enough. And we all, the rumors are around that he's not going to stay there that much longer.
Oh, he's not going to be as full-time.
Yeah, as full-time as he is right now.
Yeah.
And because when your cousin owns $7 Production and is doing movies that make
millions.
millions.
When does Ballers come back on? So I know.
Yeah. But back to what you're saying, totally agreeing with you.
Yeah.
And it's what I said earlier. Yeah. You're doing the right thing. You're creating stars. Yeah. And, I'm biased to The Rock. Rock coming back.
Yeah, we know. Because when you mentioned that part-time thing when Peter Rosenberg was on, I was like, really though?
And that's why you looked at him like that.
Really,
well, forget you, my nigga. But I'm just saying, my nigga, but like I'm saying, create stars.
Yeah.
Create stars. Because you never know what could happen with Buddy. Yeah. You put him in that right position, he takes that ball, he runs into the end zone.
Buddy's phenomenal.
Like, look what happened with Kofi.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That was, you know what? I'm not even gonna hold you. I live for the oops moments. I'm not even
because those oops moments create great things. That's what happens with creativity.
Which is why
it's not like how that having Ali The reason why it was easy for them to transition to higher, like they were to grab to the main roster because they did it on 205. You know, it's basically the same exact thing, but more hard hitting wrestling. So they was used to being the same exact audience crowd compared to NXT. NXT, you're more of a hardcore indie fan crowd. You're most likely gonna see Straw Hat Guy in every show. Compared to 205, you're a different SmackDown audience every week. So it forces you to get better.
Okay. That was a great way to end the show. This was fun this week.
It was cool.
It was great. Shout outs. Thank you to our host, Peter Rosenberg, who will be at Legends next Sunday, doing his podcast, Cheap Heat, live at Legends at 5:30. Tickets are on sale on eventbrite.com. You can hit us up for more information, and then we will go right into our SummerSlam viewing party hosted by no other than Peter Rosenberg. This Saturday, I myself and possibly our fellow admin, Dre, will be at BWF supporting their Escape from New York tournament. It is a tag team tournament that it's very interesting. So you got like guys from like BCW, got guys from CZW, got guys from all over the tri-state area.
When is Prolific wrestling again?
Prolific Wrestling. I was like, what? I do believe, I almost said their real names. I believe Marcus Marquis and Isaiah Wolf will be wrestling at Warriors. Yes, Warriors of Wrestling at the end of August.
Going, right?
They have a date. Yes, in Brooklyn, so I will be
going.
going.
Oh, yeah, it's Brooklyn. Yeah.
What date in August?
It's the 23rd.
Oh, okay.
It's a Friday.
It was the same day as AEW.
No. It's a Friday. No, it's a Friday
I
night.
can't go.
He's nuts.
Did you just? Wow. But as we are as we are signing off once again, HOG next Friday we are kicking off. Come say hello to the Jabba Tears podcast. We will all be there live and in color and in person. And then Saturday we have our NXT Takeover viewing party, followed by our Jobber Slam 5 after party with DJ and giveaways.
I'm trying to get a host for us for that.
And I'm trying to get a fancy. Ask Miss Faye Jackson.
I think she said yes already. I just
Okay,
gotta do some stuff.
let's get Miss Faye on because we owe her that one. And then once again, we are ending off the SummerSlam weekend with our viewing party at Legends. So once again, for more information, you guys can go to eventbrite.com. You can. I highly, highly recommend. Do not wait till the last minute to RSVP. Do not be on CP time to come at Legends because once again, seating will be limited after a certain time, and you will be standing and eating. And I'm not here for the complaints. So, but we are super excited to be doing it this weekend. Well, next weekend, excuse me. And we look forward to seeing everybody, all the podcasters, all the wrestlers, all the promotions. If you see the flyer, please repost. You know, if you truly, truly fuck with us, repost it and let the world know what we doing. Because we're trying to take over New York slowly but surely, and I think we got the tools, so we just need the support. So, as always, I am Janelle from HR here with Sir Wilkins and Mrblacc. Once again, next week the Big Four returns, the NWO of the Big Four returns. So I look forward to talking to my girls, and then also we're gonna do the Inside Indies episode that everyone actually really kind of likes. So I'm kind of glad the idea is coming to fruition. So I appreciate that. So as always, #Black Excellence, #we're out.